Joined by offensive coordinator Jedd Fisch. All right, Jedd, taking a look at the draft. You don't take a quarterback with the number 3 overall pick if you don't think that he has some potential. Why Blake Bortles? Why can he be a franchise quarterback?
Well, we took the quarterback because we did think he's our franchise quarterback and has that opportunity to grow into that position. I mean, he has what you're looking for in terms of toughness, smarts, athleticism. He's a guy that loves to work, loves to grind, loves to get better. And, you know, I think that the experience he's had in just a couple of years, football, is the more we get to work him, the better he'll become.
You guys were able to pick up both Marquise Lee and Allen Robinson in the second round, 2 receivers that you graded as first-round talent. How much are they going to be able to open up the offense?
Well, it's a huge get for us. You know, and the way Dave and Gus manipulated the draft board in order to be able to move back up in the second round to get Allen, and fortunate to get Marquise at 39. They're obviously impact players, so, you know, with a healthy Cecil and with those 2 guys, and then everybody that's competing for those next spots, right? So you have Ace competing to be in the slot, you have Tannen Doss competing, Mike Brown competing, guys that had 30 and 40 and 50 catches are competing rather than guys that never had a catch in the NFL prior to last year. So it's a huge difference.
Speaking of Cecil and Mercedes Lewis, for that matter, with these rookie receivers, how much is it going to help those guys out that you're going to have more weapons on offense for defenses to have to focus on?
Yeah, well, so we certainly hope so. You know, the plan is obviously, as we develop and bring the program along and kind of mold the program the way we want it to look, we're going to continue to have weapons on the outside. We're going to run the football. We have Toby, we have D-Rob, we have Todd's. And then on top of that, now we have the vertical threat inside with Mercedes. I think it's a really nice compliment.
Where's your confidence level in Toby Gerhart taking over for Maurice Jones-Drew?
Yeah, well, I think that what's important is that we don't look at it in regards to he's taking over for Maurice Jones. We're looking at it as the 2014 running back is Toby Gerhart, because it would be unfair to Toby to compare him, be unfair to Mojo to compare him with all of the successes that Mojo has had here, to then say, well, is he him, is he him, is he him? I don't want to do that. Neither is anyone. But what we do want to do is we want to continue to look at what he can do to help us, and there's a ton of opportunity there with him that we think we're excited about him being our back.
Taking a look at last season, how much more comfortable were you in opening up the playbook at the end of the year versus the very beginning when you were transitioning into taking over the offense?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing for us as we were opening up the playbook is as you get more and more experience with running the plays, you can tweak the plays. You know, in the first year, in game 1, you don't want to run a double move off of a play you never ran. You don't want to run kind of like the exception to the rule before you get the rule. So the first 8 or 10 weeks or 8, you know, of the season, we were just teaching the rules. We were just saying, okay, in this formation we're going to do this, in this formation we're going to do that. Now you're experienced with it, and now we can tweak it, and then it kind of looks like it's opened up. But really all it is just kind of variations to what the base rules are.
One thing that's different this year is you know who your starting quarterback is heading into the season. How much more does that help you guys prepare for this upcoming year?
Well, I think it's certainly as we put the game plans together and we determine what Chad does best, you know, rather than what does Chad do best, what does Blaine do best, okay, Chad's in, okay, Blaine's in, you know, we didn't want to do that. You know, that's what happened last year. This year we have Blake and we have Chad, and now the conversations are, okay, Chad is our starting quarterback. Let's give Chad every chance we can to be successful, and then, you know, and then if something changes, then we would do it the other way.
I asked Mercedes Lewis to characterize your offense, and he said it's creative. It's all about getting the ball to the playmakers. What do you want this offense to look like this upcoming season?
Well, balanced. I hope we look very balanced. I hope we have the ability to run the football and to run out the clock. I think we need to kind of create ways to score touchdowns, you know, and as we do that, we're going to try to find whoever the best guy is to catch the ball or whatever the best matchup is. And I think as we're figuring out our players, matchups make a huge difference, and that's kind of how we want to create our offense.
We've talked about this a little bit before in the past, but if you could hit on it again, what are some of those differences that you've noticed in calling plays on the professional level versus the collegiate level?
Well, you get a lot less zone and a lot more man in pro football. Matchups, while they're important in college, they're even much more important in the pro game because everybody's on a very comparable playing field. So in college there's certain weeks that your players should be better than the other team's players are. So you should right off the bat have a separation. Now, obviously, when you're playing certain conference games, that's not the case, and then you have to figure out your matchups. But again, they're defending more of the field. They're defending different offenses every week. You know, one week they defend triple option, one week they defend spread, one week they defend a pro style. Where in pro football, they're defending the same offense every week, so you got to understand they have a lot of answers.
And finally, I know it's early on, but give us a couple guys that have maybe stood out to you that we should really keep our eye on as we transition into training camp and the start of this season.
Well, I think it's exciting to see what Mike Brewster has done. You know, Mike Brewster's coming in as a starting center for us. Obviously, we're really excited about Zane Beadles and Toby Gerhardt, but I would say, you know, guys like Mike Brewster, guys like Brandon Linder, you know, who we brought here, Luke Jokel being back, you know, after not being here for 4 or 5, you know, only played 5 games last year. Love watching how he's progressing. And then there's some quiet guys, you know, the Storm Johnson's making a lot of big plays for us. Alan Hearns is making a lot of big plays. Copeland's doing a nice job. So it's kind of fun to see what both the guys that we drafted high and paid, you know, for, and then other guys that came in and really compete and how it's all balancing out.
All right, thanks so much.
You got it. Thank you.